Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live, and tonight's a really special night for me because tonight is the 30th episode of Vibin with Ashley Live. And I've done 29 of these episodes already, so it's kind of surreal to hit my 30th episode. And episode 30 is going to be amazing because I have Ciara Sellers. She's a singer-songwriter based out of Pittsburgh, and she is a neo-soul queen. She's heavily inspired by Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, D'Angelo, Anderson Paak, and I'm really excited to bring her in the room and introduce her to you guys because she is a phenomenal singer, and I'm really excited for her to meet you guys and for you guys to ask her some phenomenal questions. So if you don't know by now, I always start my show with a song lyric. And Ciara just joined the room. So I'm going to bring Ciara in and then I'm going to share my song lyric with Ciara. And then we're going to get into the interview. So yeah, Ciara is going to join here shortly. Just request to be in my live and I'll bring you on in. Hi guys, thank you for joining us this evening. Hi guys. Okay, Ciara, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can add you. It says unable to join. Hold on a second. Instagram is finicky, so Hi Ciara.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. So right before you hopped into the room, I share a song lyric before I start every interview. So this song lyric is from someone who you are really inspired by, the one and only Jill Scott.
What if I don't recognize it? Okay, what is
You
it?
know Jill Scott.
No, I know. I know. But I'm saying, like, what if I don't recognize the lyric? How embarrassing.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay. I just try to like share a song lyric that kind of speaks to me in some way. So this is from Jill Scott's song Golden from her 2004 album Beautifully Human.
Yeah.
I'm taking my freedom, pulling it off the shelf, putting it on my chain, wear it around my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car. Wherever I choose to go, it will take me far. And I don't know, that I love that song. It's such an incredible song. And as you know, you're heavily inspired by Jill. So everything that she puts out is just phenomenal and speaks to you and sits in your soul. And you're like, wow, she just took over my whole life.
Yeah, I love her. She's so lyrical and she's really a poet. I mean, that's how she got started to an extent. But yeah, she's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah. And she's one of your biggest influences.
Absolutely. So like I sang her song Long Walk when I was like 5 years old.
Whoa!
And, yeah, like my aunt and my uncle put me on to Jill Scott early. So actually funnily enough too, like there was a talent show at camp one summer and I sang Long Walk and I got clowned. Like all the kids started laughing at me and like making fun of me because they didn't know Jill Scott.
Who knows Jill Scott at 5 years?
Right. So they were like, "Why is your voice so deep? Like, what song is that?" But the counselors were like, "You're amazing. Like,
yeah,
do this." And so it's just, yeah, I love Jill Scott so much.
Yeah. So is there a video of you singing at 5 years old at that camp?
I don't think so. There's definitely videos of me singing as a child, but nobody knows where they are.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like a hidden gem. I don't know where they're at. And my mom passed away when I was like 5 years old. And it was actually, I believe, at her not her service, but you know, when the family comes over to the house after the funeral, that's when I sang. But there's apparently videos of my mother singing because my mom sang and she had a really beautiful voice. I don't really remember because I was so young.
Yeah.
But those are lost too. So like one day somebody better find these videos.
Whoever has videos, please bring them to the surface. Just because like I think it's so important when I was young, they used to call them home movies. I don't know if you guys call them that either, but it was like home movies. They weren't like VHSs.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we do with them? So please, if you have these videos of Sierra's mom and Sierra singing, please bring them to the light, because then you can put them on social, and that'd be so cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I would really love to see it.
Yeah. So just to double back down on that, you started singing from a very young age, and then you were writing songs in elementary school. So what
Yeah.
drew you to music at such a young age?
I don't even know. I just always loved it. I would always dance to it.
Mm-hmm.
Another fun story, when I guess we were in some store, and you know how like I was little, so I was sitting in like the front part of the buggy or the cart,
Mm-hmm.
and I started like moving, and I was with my aunt and uncle, and they thought I was having like a seizure. I was like 2 at the time. They thought I was having a seizure, and my uncle was like, "No, she's dancing."
Oh my gosh.
So never could dance, still can't dance, but it's all good. I still love music, and I still love to move to it. But I just remember like knowing that's what I wanted to do. I just remember I would sing into like my blocks in preschool.
Mm-hmm.
I remember just like watching Beyonce and listening to all these singers and like being like, I could do this. I remember when Sierra, the singer came out.
Yeah.
I was pissed because like, she took my name. I was supposed to be Sierra. And so it was just always something that I knew I wanted to do, and I felt that I could do. And it wasn't until I was about 18 that I got the courage to actually pursue it and like go out and chase it. So
Mm-hmm. So obviously you were 5, and then like you had your teenage years and your school years. So what took you so long to actually want to pursue it? Because 5 to 18, a lot of years in there.
yeah, and a lot of songs in between there too.
Yeah.
But it was really like just me being terrified. Like just it's one thing that like for you to believe in yourself and to
Mm-hmm.
believe that you're good enough, but then to actually put it out there, I don't think I was ready to face people trying to tell me that I wasn't good enough. um,
Wow.
so I was really scared about what other people would think. I'm such a people pleaser. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that I still work on to this day, but
Mm-hmm.
um, there was also a lot of real life happening. So like from a young age too, I knew that like college was important, but I also knew that the only way I was going to get to college was on some kind of scholarship. I was
Yeah.
not the best student. I didn't like school, even though I went to school for education.
Uh-huh.
I didn't believe in a lot of the things that I was given, like homework and stuff. I was like, this is just busy work to me. Like, why am I doing this? Um, so I played basketball, and
Mm-hmm.
from middle school, I knew that the only way I was going to get into college, or in my mind, the only way I was going to get into college was through a basketball scholarship. So I did that. And then I quit. I ended up going Division 3 and getting some like academic scholarships, so that I could quit and do music.
Wow.
Yeah. So like, yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
was plotting in like middle school about like what I was gonna do. It's a lot of people don't know what they want to do until like later in life, but I knew and like was plotting on it for a very long time.
It was always there. It had to come out, and it had to be at a time when you were ready, because before you were like, when you were younger, you were like, oh, I'm kind of nervous and stage
Yeah.
fright and worried about what
And
people.
like recording studios aren't necessarily like kid friendly.
Yeah.
And then the first song I recorded um, was in like somebody's closet, and I was like shaking and
Oh.
like stuttering the whole time. I forgot to put my phone on do not disturb mode. But yes. So all of that stuff I was really, really nervous about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So have you finally gotten over your stage fright?
Yes and no. I mean, there's a little bit that comes with it. I imagine after COVID, I'm gonna be like shaking in my boots again. But the difference is confidence. Like I'm truly confident behind the music that I'm putting forth and my abilities. My uncle always told me, because I used to sing in church and I used to be really nervous singing in church, and he always told me that like
Mm-hmm.
nerves are humility. So
Yeah.
when you're not nervous, be worried, because you'll feel like you are the best and there's no growth. Whereas when you have nerves, it's like you understand that you're in a place where you can still see growth. And I think that's really beautiful.
I've never heard that before, but I love it because when you have those nerves, it's kind of like your body just saying, okay, I'm a little like nervous, because there's a lot of musicians and celebrities that are like, I'm so nervous to play a Madison Square Garden or a Staples Center. And you're like, why would they be nervous? Like, they've been in the industry 15, 20 years. But like, that's really interesting that you should say that, because you don't want to be too confident and be like, oh, I'm
I have a lyric for you.
Do you?
Yes, Erykah Badu, my other aunt. She says in On and On, the man that knows something knows that he knows nothing at all. So in other words, like, when you stop being a student, like, that's a really dangerous path. So again, nerves or humility.
Yeah. I mean, you should always be a student and soak things up, because even people that have been in this industry 20, 30 years, like, they still need to be learning. Like, what are they doing during quarantine? A lot of those people have actually been silent. I don't know if you've noticed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
they're plotting. They have stuff brewing.
Yeah. But but they need to change with the times, right? Because when COVID happened, like, nobody expected it to last several months. We were just like, oh, okay, maybe 6 months or whatever. And now we're still in the thick of it. So you do have to be a student, and you still have to do these live streams and get out there and collab and stay relevant.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So how would you describe the music that you create?
The music that I create comes from a place of love. I would argue that the music I put out comes from a place of love, because not all music that I make or write I put out, because not all of it is for everyone.
Yeah.
Because I'm still learning and growing personally, that I still use music to express myself in like my deepest, ugliest, most unattractive moments.
Right.
I share with music, but then that music I'm still not ready to share with everybody else, just because I am a really private person. So I would say the music that I try to put out is coming from a place of love and empowerment and encouragement. But yeah, the music all together that I just create is just a really intimate moment that I reflect on.
So the other songs that you write that you don't put out, how many of those do you have?
Like, I actually looked the other day, because I haven't backed up my computer ever.
Yeah.
Like, this is a really risky game, but I have like over 400 songs.
What?
Yeah. I love writing. Yeah.
Have you ever thought of maybe bringing them to other people? Like, maybe you wouldn't want to sing it, but maybe you'd have another artist sing?
Yeah, I have a lot of it, and I've written for some other people, but I don't know, sometimes it just kind of feels good to like go back into those places, in those spaces in time, and keep them for myself. Yeah.
400 though, that's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a life, Ashley. I don't do anything. I go to work and I make music, and you know what I'm saying? I cook some food, drink some beer, drink some wine, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't really do much, so I got time.
That's incredible though, like, to know that you've been writing that much, whether it was when you were a kid or whether it's, in the past 8-9 months or so during this global pandemic.
Yeah. All of it is just, I have my songbooks, like, literally, they're not, I got rid of my bookshelf, so they're somewhere in my apartment. But from when I was in elementary school, it's crazy. And what I love about it, I'm so smart, because when I was a kid, I was like, one day I'm going to want to look back on this and see when I wrote this. So I have, all my songs are signed and dated.
That's awesome.
So to this day, all my songs are signed and dated. So you know when exactly they were written.
You're like, I wrote this in 4th grade.
Yes.
And I'm a teacher, and I wrote this after I came out of math class. Like, you have
I
Content.
have some on like graph paper. Yeah.
Oh, wow. My gosh, it's so cool. So
Yeah.
we talked about some of your influences, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Anderson Paak, D'Angelo. Talk about their influence on your career.
In regards to the music I write, or
Yeah.
so I think all of them hold a special place in my heart. Anderson Paak, his cadence. He's a drummer, and I always find it really impressive. Um, like he like writes in jazz. Like I don't know, he
Yeah.
just his like melodies are insane, and um they don't it's like they don't make sense. Like it's almost like he writes with like passing chords, which is like the one chord you do. I don't know anything about music theory, but my friend taught me this before. Like a passing chord is when you sing something or you play a chord and the next chord you play doesn't make sense until the chord after. So it's like you have to hear all of it to understand it, because at first, like for a slight second, you're like, that doesn't sound right, and then when you hear the next chord, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like in my mind how Anderson Paak writes, and I love that. I admire that so much.
Mm-hmm.
Jill Scott, her lyrics, oh my gosh, the way she just like paints a picture, her imagery and her music is so beautiful.
Definitely.
And she just like really makes you feel like you're right there in what she's saying. Like, I don't know if you ever heard the song Love Rain by her.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
spoken word, and it's incredible, and how she just plays with the beat. It's awesome. And then Lauryn Hill, for the same reason, her lyrics, I mean, although I found out that she doesn't always write her lyrics, which broke my heart.
Yeah.
But still, whoever wrote those lyrics, if she wrote some of them too, props to them, because her Unplugged album, especially this one song, Mystery of Iniquity, she's just like she goes like political,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
brings it back to religion, and then relates it to like just the average it's just crazy. She's just incredible too. Um, and then who else did I name? Erykah Badu. I'm a really big fan of lyrics, if you haven't been able to tell.
But
Like,
that's important though, because those
yes,
lyrics, like when you think of them and you're like, what was she talking about here? Or, oh, I can see that in my head. Like,
yes,
or maybe it means something different to everybody, specific lyrics, right?
yeah. I think I'm just a really big fan of these people because of their lyrics. Although D'Angelo places all these little like isms in
Mm-hmm.
his background vocals, and the runs that he does, and like the timing of his music. It's just full.
Yeah.
Like he's just, it's whole. Like it's just complete. So I really love his music for that, and I've actually been paying close attention to his music for that reason, to try to learn about something that I feel I lack at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
with my background vocals and my ad libs. My home and my comfort zone is just writing the song. I
Yeah.
hate recording. uh, Not because I don't love the environment in which I record. It's just hard to recreate what you're feeling when you write something.
Mm-hmm.
So currently I'm trying to upgrade my home studio setup, but with COVID, it's really difficult. So I think once I'm able to have like a proper mic and setup at my house, I'll be able to just record as soon as I write. And
Mm-hmm.
that will help my inspiration with like background vocals and ad libs and things. But D'Angelo is phenomenal at that, and I so appreciate his affinity for live musicians as well, and jazz, and how he ties that all together.
Yeah. And I think when you say who you're inspired by, it's like, oh my gosh, when you think of Jill Scott at 5 years old, like I don't even know what I was listening to at 5 years old, but I wish Jill Scott was brought into my life when I was 5.
Yeah, it was definitely cool. I got like some random underground people too. Like this one guy, his name is Chaos,
Mm-hmm.
and we listened to his CD. We listened to like Robin Thicke, and
Oh,
it was just, I got a lot of good music, and growing up biracial, and my dad worked late on the weekends, so I would stay with different family members on the weekends, because like I said before, my mother had passed away. So We needed somebody to watch us, my sister and I. So with my dad and his side of the family, I got a bunch of like country music and rock music.
Interesting.
And then on my mother's side, I got a lot of gospel music, R&B and soul, rap. So I have like a really eclectic taste. And I just like, I think that helped my appreciation and interest in music so much, because I wasn't just hearing one thing all the time. It was like, music can look like this and can sound like that, or music, you know, whatever it could be. It was like a really interesting thing for me.
And then with country and gospel and neo soul, and it's like, and then you take all those elements and then you put them into your songwriting and your recording, and then it all comes out.
Yeah.
Amazing. So other than the Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Anderson Paak, all those people we just named, who would you like to collaborate with?
I don't know. Anderson Paak is my dream.
Yes.
My dream for sure.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't really think about this a lot, to be honest. Although I'm rediscovering Mos Def.
Yeah.
He is. I definitely, because when I started discovering music on my own, of course I had heard his earlier stuff, but when I was starting to discover music on my own, I skipped right to like Tribe and The Far Side and like all the super popular 90s hip hop. And not that Mos Def wasn't popular, but those just kind of were a little bit more. And he came in like the early 2000s. But his album, The New Danger, is like, talk about crossing genres. Like, he has a song with Jack White, and it's like rock. It's like rock. Yeah. But it's crazy. I want to cover one of those songs, and I would love to work with him and like see what his creative process is like.
What are your favorite songs to perform?
Ooh. Covers or my originals?
Sure.
Either. I'll do one cover, one original.
Okay.
My favorite cover to perform is a tie, honestly, between Say My Name by Destiny's Child and Are You That Somebody by Aaliyah.
Oh, no.
Because those are truly like pop songs for me and when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And so like singing to them when I was a kid and pretending I was on stage, and then actually going on a stage and singing them, it's like a full circle moment. Also, the crowd gets so hyped. There's always like one or two girls in the crowd like, oh my God, that's my song. And I'm like, yes, girl. Yes, queen.
Yes.
But then a favorite original of mine to perform would have to be a song that isn't released. I don't know if it ever will be, but it's called Les Freak. And it's really funky. I love the bass line. It's just a super fun. I always end the show with it because it's like an upper song. Like, it's a feel-good song.
Right. And so you perform that at your shows, but you haven't actually released it, right?
Nope. Yep. There's not a released version of that song. I have the version of that song, but I don't know if it will ever be released. We will see.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so too. It really just depends on the producer and stuff like that. Just like working out business stuff. But it's a really great song. Me and that producer made a lot of really great music together. So hopefully all of it can be released. We'll see. But for now,
yes, let's hope so. Hope so. It's a new year, so you gotta release new music.
Yes. And I have some that's getting ready to be released. So I'm excited. Excited for 2021.
Do you have any release date or any kind of inside that you can share with us?
I don't have a release date. I do have a 3-song little project that will be released early in the year. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing holding it back but me. So it will be coming out. And I just have a couple of singles, hopefully starting to work on some kind of album. I'm always hesitant to go in the direction of an album because I'm kind of like a psycho about my music. Like, I'm really, really critical and hard on myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, like, I don't want to put out something I don't believe in. I want to be fully confident with whatever I release and however I release it. So I take my time.
Hey, but taking your time is good because then when you feel good with it and you release it, it comes out and we feel that.
Yeah.
Music fans.
Yep. So those are the 2021 vibes.
You've performed at Con Alma, Thunderbird, and this was your second year performing at the Deutschtown Music Festival. What other venues or events are your favorite?
There was this other festival called Under the Bridge,
Mm-hmm.
and I loved that festival. So it was literally under a bridge.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in Homestead in Pittsburgh, and they had a stage, and then like next to the stage, the like a big skate shop here had I don't know what they're called, but like a little ramp thingy.
Oh yeah.
And there was just like skaters just like going in over there, and then there were a bunch of artists and like vendors and stuff. It was really cool. But what was the best thing about it was that there was like a train. There's train tracks right behind you, so the train would go by, and
Mm-hmm.
and I mean you as the people on stage could not hear anything.
Wow.
And I love stuff like that because I'll never probably have a show like that again. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what level I'm at, unless I perform at that same thing, that is something I will never forget. And it's something that made me smile because no matter how good you think you are, there's always going to be something that comes through like a freaking train. And you're going to get humbled real quick and be like, okay, wait, concentrate. You're feeling yourself too much. You got to make sure you're singing the right note. Like, get it together.
Yeah.
So that festival was just really cool, really unique, and I feel really proud to say that I was a part of something like that. It's so creative. It's just like so down to earth. Everybody was just really happy to be there. Like, we didn't care that there was a train like blowing its horn in the middle of our set. We all were just like, yeah.
You gotta
Just
roll
kept
with the
going.
punches, right?
Exactly. So it was just a really, really nice vibe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the shows I went to. I've never had like a train in the background, so that just
Yeah.
I'm trying to like imagine that in my head.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And there was just like, you couldn't be mad at it because it's like, what am I gonna do? Like, tell the train to stop? Like, I don't even like signal a conductor if it even had one to be like, hey, we have a festival here. Don't blow your horn. Like, it just is what
Oh,
it
somebody
is.
says he was there for the train show.
Yes, Brendan. Yeah,
Very cool.
fun.
So your EP, Ophelia, was released in March and documents your time in Oakland. Bring us back to that time, what it meant to you as an artist and how it made you evolve as a person.
Yeah, that was like a really, really pivotal time in my life. I was 19
Mm-hmm.
when I was first introduced to that street and those memories. And I have always been a goody goody. It's very annoying, but it is who I am. And so that was my first time kind of being bad, but still not really.
Yeah.
Like, I was lying where I was to my dad, but I always texted my sister like, to tell her, hey, like, just so you know, if anything happens, I'm here. So I got like a really nice taste of freedom without any responsibilities, because like I wasn't paying bills. I wasn't, you know, my friends and I would be out all night and then wake up and have absolutely nothing to do but like go shopping with the little money we made at our part-time jobs, and like there was no bills to be paid. And that's not to belittle part-time jobs. I'm just saying there was not a lot of money being a student.
Yeah.
But at the same time, enough money to blow it all because we had nothing else to pay for. So it was like and that was like the only year it was like that, or the only summer it was like that. So I just thought I was like Carrie Bradshaw, and like we would go to dinners, we would go to lunches. My friend had her own apartment. It was like this really freeing time. And specifically Ophelia Street, I met so many cool, wonderful people there. And it was like, during that time, what are you guys doing? What are you up to? Oh, going to Ophelia. And like there would be house parties all along that street, and you would just walk in or out of one house party and then into another, and like you were just met with like kindness and excitement for people to get to know you. And there were a couple nights where, well, one night specifically, one of the houses had a bunch of soccer players who were from Brazil. And they were out on their front porch, and they were playing guitar, the congas, and they were singing like music from their home. And my friends and I, and then a bunch of other people, just like started dancing in the street, like to this music. And I remember like dancing in the middle of Ophelia Street and being like, this is like a movie moment. Like, not everybody gets to experience something so beautiful and so wholesome like this. Like, so it taught me a lot about myself during a really difficult time. And the whole EP takes you through like one of the nights on Ophelia. So the intro is just kind of preparing me for it. So I kind of think of it as like the pregame. Before you go out, you're just chilling, vibing out, getting ready for the night. Grown is about, you know, respecting yourself as a person, and getting what you deserve and fighting for what you deserve, and not settling for anything less. And, you know, when you're 19 years old, it's like these relationships are so toxic.
So
Grown is also petty as hell. Don't be fooled. It's about empowerment, but it's also very petty. Like, song Grown is like, I am not too grown to like act a fool right now. Don't get it twisted. And then Good Time is just about going out and having a good time, not thinking about anything too heavy, just truly enjoying the moment and enjoying who you are with at that time, and just like letting go. Like, we all sometimes try to figure out everything right then, like right in the moment. We're like, we have to figure this out, or I have to work through these emotions. And I don't feel like you do in the moment. I mean, as long as you don't completely avoid them. Some nights I'm feeling down, or if I'm stressed out about something, I'll just be like, honestly, dude, put on some D'Angelo, drink your wine, light your candles, and dance in front of your mirror, and like let it go and think about it tomorrow. Because sometimes you need a break from your own thoughts.
Exactly.
And then Time, I had to throw a love song in there because I love love. But Time is kind of about if you like meet eyes with somebody like at a party or out somewhere, and you just like immediately get butterflies, and they're like all you think about, and all you want. They're the only person you want to talk to that whole night. So that's what Time is about. And then the feeling, or I'm sorry, feeling is about that. Time is then wanting to go spend more time with them, and it goes beyond butterflies and actually wanting to make something happen from that. So those were kind of like a handful of my experiences on Ophelia, and I'm so grateful for those times and that street. Never in my life would I think I would be so attached to a street, but like even when I drive by there sometimes, it's not very often, but when I do, I'm like, aw.
But that's so cool to think that you created so many songs over this one street and your experience on the street. Like when you talk about the house parties and like going from one house party to another, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never experienced anything like that. Like I was just
it was like
one party.
Like nobody, I mean, I'm sure people were doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing, but like for me, it was a safe, nice environment. And yeah, I was actually in Chicago like right before the lockdown happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I was singing all the songs from Ophelia, telling the story about it, and somebody came up to me in the crowd and was like, "Yeah, that's crazy. I went to Pitt, and we used to go to this place called Ophelia," and I was like, "That's what I'm talking about." And he's like,
Yeah.
"That's crazy. I used to go there all the time," and like,
Oh my
I've
God.
encountered a lot of people who are like, "I loved Ophelia. Like, this project is exactly the energy from it. Like, thank you for making this." So it's really cool that I'm not the only person that feels that way too.
Mm-hmm. And if you haven't already, please stream Ophelia. It's on all streaming platforms, and it's phenomenal. And there's just so many like neo soul, funky Anderson Paak vibes to it that it's just it's really a masterpiece.
Thank you, thank you.
Of course. What artists or genres have you been listening to during lockdown?
Um, Neo soul, of course, but I've been trying to get a little more in depth with the neo soul. Like, so I'm not just listening to the namesakes of it, like the Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. I started revisiting Kids with the Family Soul, some new age neo soul,
Yeah.
or new school. So that's been fun. I also have been trying to find some like alternative jazz. Nothing I could like name, but kind of just listening to like whatever people send me. People have been like making me playlists and sending them, which has been fun to like check all that music out. And I actually probably listen to rap more than I listen to neo soul or soul music. So I've been listening to a lot of that.
Recent rap or like rap from 10, 20 years ago?
Both.
Yeah.
But no, I think I can't remember when it dropped. Lately, I've been listening to, who have I been listening to most? Well, I've been on my like Jay-Z phase again. I love Jay-Z. He's probably my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah.
But I listen to a lot of Jid, and then I listen to a lot of my friends too. So other artists from Pittsburgh, I'll listen to their music a lot.
Very cool. If you could change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
Um, I would just put a little more trust and good faith and
Yeah.
let's all eat mentality into
Mm-hmm.
it, so I don't have to worry about business stuff. Because sometimes I just really, not sometimes, all the time, I really just want to be an artist and I just want to focus on the music. But I have to look out for myself, so I have to have like the hard conversations sometimes, which gets really awkward, especially in close relationships, like with producers. That the awkward question of like, okay, how much do you want for this beat, or
Yeah.
how are we splitting this? So, and then sometimes people get like greedy, and you have to be like, okay, like I don't want to be this person, but I'm gonna be this person, and then it gets uncomfortable. So, I wish that everything was just as it was supposed to be, and there wasn't as much greed. It was just kind of like, let's all just make money off of this music, um, how we all deserve to.
Right. Yeah, I think that's so important because when you talk about, oh, like how should we split this? Like I'm the songwriter, you're the producer, or you helped me
Yeah.
maneuver my lyrics. So like, do you get some of the songwriting credit? Like, yeah, that's definitely has to be a difficult conversation as an artist to have.
Yeah. Luckily, though, I haven't had to have a lot of them. Most people that I work with were just like, let's just split it down the middle. Now, granted, I'm not getting millions of streams, so it's a little more simple right now, but
Hmm.
I just wish that I didn't have to worry about that stuff and I could just make music for the sake of making music. Like, it's kind of similar to when I was in school. I actually love learning and I love like being in a classroom,
Hmm.
but I hate tests and
Oh,
I hate like I went to like a Catholic college and I'm not Catholic, but I hated like my theology class because of the exams. I loved learning about it. I loved learning that perspective. But it was like we had to analyze Bible verses, and then they would like tell me that my analysis was wrong. I'm like, how are you gonna tell me my opinion is wrong? Like, this doesn't make any sense. So it would just irk me. And like the same with tests and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, well, like, this just, I don't know, this is just hard for me. I don't like that type of application. I prefer like a real world approach. So yeah.
I know what you mean. When I was in school, I hated tests. I bombed my SATs, and I'm one of those people, like, I do like learning, but like if I have to sit here and do a 50 question test, like I'm probably gonna
like somebody be like, prove it. It's like, I don't wanna. I just want, stop being a butthead. Like, it's just the same with music. Like, I just want to write songs and record them and share them with people. Like, I just want all the good stuff. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want all the good stuff? So.
What song do you wish you wrote and why?
I've actually thought about what beat I wish I produced.
Yeah.
For this, which is The Recipe with Kendrick and Dre.
Oh my God.
I always listen to that beat. I'm like, I should have did this. My beats are trash. It's not that I'm good at making beats. But I don't know why. Every time I listen to that song, I'm like, I wish I made this beat.
I love that. Yeah, I love that song. I think that's one of the best songs on that album. And it kind of, when I hear that song, I think of like being in Cali, palm trees, sun, convertible top down, just chill.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. So if you don't know that song, please listen to The Recipe with Kendrick Lamar and Dr. Dre. You'll thank us later.
Yeah. I think this song I wish I wrote. Probably a Jill Scott song, and it would either be Family Reunion by her or Love Rain.
Yeah.
One of those songs, because it's just so impressive, and I hope to be at that level and skill one day.
Yeah. Anything by Jill Scott.
Yeah, I swear, she's so good.
Amazing. No one can touch Jill Scott, truly.
Yeah, like, even when the Erykah Badu versus Jill Scott was on, I was still in Jill's corner because out of like, you have to choose.
Yeah.
But I mean, Erykah Badu, those two women could do no wrong in my eyes. Like, they really couldn't. I hope one day I get to like meet them and tell them how much they like mean to me as artists, because Erykah Badu she's unique. Like, she's just truly an artist and herself, and there's nobody in the game like her. And same with Jill Scott, but they're like just in their own right, their own person, and it's so cool to see that. And Jill Scott like got into the game late, 27. It's not late, but for the music industry, I guess it is.
Yeah.
So it's inspiring to like know that, just because I didn't get famous or be successful in music at 18, that like I should still keep trying, and there's still hope. I don't have to
keep going. You
never
know when it could happen. Like, you never know when. I mean, you could honestly, say when all this is over, you could go to like a Jill Scott show and get an opportunity to meet her and just tell her. And she'd be like, oh, I saw your rendition of my song.
Okay. I would cry. I think I don't, I'm saying this like I've met stars. I'm like, I don't get starstruck. I haven't met any. But I would probably just start crying if I met Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Beyonce, and Lauryn Hill. I think I would just be like, I can't even function, because I look up to them in so many different ways. Like, Beyonce's confidence helped me with mine. Jill's lyrics just inspire me, and how she uses her voice inspires me. Erykah Badu, just being Erykah Badu, inspires me. And Lauryn Hill, doo-wop, like that song. It's all about respecting yourself and, holding people accountable, and just it's such a powerful song. So like,
it really is.
All of those women were just amazing.
Definitely. Girl power. Speaking of girl power, this is the part of the show where Sierra is going to perform for us. So take it away, girl.
Yeah. All right. So I am going to start with the song that it's really like one, if not the first song, one of, if not the first song I released that really felt like me. For a long time, I was listening to a lot of what people were saying and how I should be. And then I watched a Jay-Z interview with Forbes. And if you haven't watched that interview, you should. And he said something, because he got success later in life too. And he said something to the effect of, everybody wants to ride a wave, and I was just waiting for people to catch mine. So that, honestly, in an interview, that changed my outlook on my career and how I was feeling. Jay-Z with Forbes, great interview. But this song is called Smooth. I wrote it for my little cousin Selah, and it's just all about loving and respecting yourself. So hope you guys enjoy it. Hopefully it's loud enough. I'll move this closer. Oh, yeah. I put this on my sister. Who y'all messing with? 'Cause if it ain't a real one, you gon' have some regrets. You gotta be down, you better come correct. And if you stay around, better get some respect. I'm not playing a fool, no wonder he talks smooth. He wonder who. I said I'm not playing a fool, no wonder he talks smooth. He wonder who. Not trying to knock a situation or cause dreams that you've been chasing, but a woman don't know man till she gets to know his demons. Hard enough to face it with this language they convey. Don't you get complacent, don't you listen, don't you take it. Worth more than the basics, yeah, you worth more than the basics. Could be making millions with the time that you've been wasting, but you knew that. Hey, yeah, I bet you knew that. Hey sister, who you messing with? Is he a real brother? Was he just up next? Is he really down? Do we come correct? And since you stuck around, do you get your respect? I'm not playing a fool. No wonder he talks smooth. He wonder who. Said I'm not playing a fool. No wonder he talks smooth. He wonder who. Now act like you know, not like you know better. Act like you know, not like you know better. Act like you know, not like you know better. Act like you know, not like you know better. Not like you know better. Act like you know, not like you know better. Act like you know, not like you know better. Act like you know, not like you know better. Act like you know, not like you know better. Act like you know, not like you know better. Act like you know, not like you know better. Act like you know. I put this on my sister. Who y'all messing with? 'Cause if it ain't a real one, you gon' have some regrets. He gotta be down, he better come correct. If you stay around, hey, better get your respect. I'm not playing a fool, no wonder he talks smooth. He wonder who. And that's smooth.
Yeah, that was
Thank you. Oh, was so nervous, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't sang for anybody in a month, over a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, oh man, this is live. I can't even. Like,
well, it's you and me.
I know, but still, I wasn't expecting to be nervous with that. That was fun though. Thank you for letting me sing.
That was beautiful. You have another one for us as well, right?
Yes, I do.
This
is one of my other favorite songs. I feel like it's kind of, I wouldn't go as far as saying like underrated, but it's kind of a lesser known song. It's called Gimme, but I love it. I'll sing it for you now. Where did you come from? Where did you stay? Sorry for the question, yeah. Look so good, come away. Go and lick your lips right quick, pull me in. No, you can't deny this booty with a ring, but it's alright. 'Cause baby, you gon' be mine, yeah. Gimme what I really want. Gimme what I really came for. Gimme what I really want. Gimme what I really came for. Gimme what I really want. Gimme what I really came for. Gimme. Roll up, yeah. When I come to could use some adventure, yeah. Could use some of you. So go and lick your lips right quick, put me in. No, I can't deny a cutie with a ring, but it's alright. It's sure enough you gon' be mine, yeah. Gimme what I really want. Gimme what I really came for. Gimme what I really want. Gimme what I really came for. Gimme what I really want. Gimme what I really came for. Gimme what I really want. Gimme what I really came for. What I really came for. And that's it.
Yay, give it up. Amazing job. So if you have any questions for Sierra, we have a couple minutes left and she will answer your questions. In the meantime, while we're waiting for questions to load, how can people support you during this time on your musical journey? Like, what can we do for you and other artists?
I would say like Bandcamp is the best way to buy the music because they give the most money back. It has been really challenging. Like, I used to perform like 3 times a week. A lot of them would be like gigs like in jazz places that would pay out a lot more. So having the money to like be able to reinvest in my music has been a really big struggle because we're all just trying to get by. But if you can't purchase the music, definitely just like being on the lookout for this stuff to come and, you know, promoting that and sending that out if you like it. And yeah, just like, I don't know, streaming, listening to the music, supporting the new stuff when it comes out, showing your friends. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. So if you don't already, please make sure to follow Sierra and stream all her music, give her a follow, and support her in any way that you can. Where would you like to perform next?
Where would I like to perform next? Anywhere? No. I would say before the pandemic, I had just booked a show in LA, New York, and DC. And I was really excited because those are all really big cities.
Yeah.
And I was like headliner. And they were going to be like really small, intimate shows. But one of those places, as far as a destination, but locally in Pittsburgh, Cone Alma. That place is such a vibe. If you have not been to Cone Alma in Pittsburgh, you need to go. It's also such an honor playing there and singing there because it's like a place that's like really highly respected jazz musicians and musicians in general. So if I'm welcome in a place like that, like it's a really, really high honor for me. So.
Aw. Where were you booked in New York?
I don't even know, some underground place. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't anything crazy. But the fact that like my name was going to be on a flyer.
Oh my gosh, you have to, once everything calms down, you have to come back to New York. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's where you're at, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be so fun. I would definitely love to. I'd sang at an open mic there. I forget what the place was called. But it was really cool. I sang in an open mic and I was like so afraid. I was like, New York, they don't play here. They'll boo me. They'll boo me off the stage. And I sang. They stood up and cheered for me, so that was a good sign.
Yay!
Yeah.
Well, please come back when things get safe and we can actually enjoy shows and not be scared. What instrument would you like to learn?
What'd you say?
What instrument would you like to learn?
So I actually play, but I would definitely like to learn keys, for sure. Keys would be my next venture if I'm disciplined enough to actually, stick with it.
Where would you like to travel next?
To travel next, I want to go back to LA. I actually went there recently, well, in the last few months, and I got an Airbnb with one of my other friends who makes music, and then we met up with another friend who also makes music out there, and we were just kind of like locked in this Airbnb, and it was like you would wake up and write something, record. We were up to like 3 a.m. making music each night or listening to music. It was such a crazy experience. So I look forward to going back and finishing like the little project that we made, the three of us together.
Very cool. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years? What job am I interviewing for right now? No, played. Man, I don't even know. I see myself being able to have music as a career. As much as I love my job at the YMCA with kids, music is where I want to spend all my time. And I'll definitely always work with kids. I told my boss at the Y that like when I'm not on tour, I'll do after school. I'll come home and work for her in after school. And that's my goal. But just someplace in my life where I'm able to do music full time and live off of the money I make from that, but also just like living, like having more moments and not being so afraid to live my life, so that I can have really great music and stories from those experiences.
Definitely. I love that because inspiration can come from anywhere.
Yeah. Except I did not make a quarantine song. Nobody asked me for a quarantine song. That is, when I say I'm not inspired or if I'm like, I'm bored in we talked about it earlier, my studio apartment. It's one room. I got one room that I look at all the time. So when I would say like, I don't have anything to write about, people would expect just write about that. No. I can't. You don't get it. You don't get writer's block.
But that's okay. No, that's okay. Because the thing is, like, you have to find that inspiration from somewhere. Like, you might hear a car outside your house and be like, oh, I can write something to that. You just never know where it's going to come from.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, that is all the time that we have this evening. But Sierra, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your beautiful gifts with us and for a wonderful conversation. And if you don't already, please make sure to follow Sierra. Tell everybody where they can find you.
On Instagram, on Twitter. Instagram is where I'm most active, so I definitely say just follow me on here. Facebook, I do have an artist page. That's where I would post a lot of my live shows. But really, all social media, you can find my music. My booking email is just booksierrasellers@gmail.com. I do prefer that over DMs, so please just hit that if you want to do a collaboration or if you want me to listen to something, whatever it might be, or perform. But yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity and for, giving me this platform tonight. I really appreciate it, especially like during these times. Like I said, this is the first time I performed in like over a month.
Yes, I'm so happy though that you agreed to do my show, because when I came across you, I was like, who is she? Why have I not heard of? Why?
Thank you.
And then when you agreed to do my show, I'm like, I cannot wait to finally have you on my show. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to do this. And you guys, like I said, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Sierra. Please make sure to follow me, because I do this show all the time and I have incredible musicians just like Sierra on my show all the time. So thank you so much again for your time. Happy holidays. Stay safe. Any final words from you?
I'll see you when I go to New York. I'm hitting you up. Don't bail on me. Don't flip.
No, I don't bail. I'm a woman of my word.
All right. Have a blessed one, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe.